Does he have it?
Medeiros is going to get it.
They're going to toss it. They haven't got it.
He's on the outside line though, going into the fastest corner on the circuit. Surely this can't work.
Dominic Ligner has got a sensational run outside line now though for the heavy braking zone. Around the outside goes the Audi R8.
Look how much Miller's caught back into play. Exactly, Miller's still start trouble. He's not on second and change. All of a sudden, Miller's back in play.
Can Barry do it? Big Barry's going to do it. Big Barry!
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Evolution Sim Racing. Of course, it's Season 3. We're at Round 4. We're at Le Mans, one of the most historic racetracks. Of course, if not the most historic racetrack, of course, dating back to 1906, around this very historic part of France. Round 4, it's a 1-hour sunset race for us all to get our teeth into. Qualifying has just finished, and I believe it was Aidan Neat who took pole position, but it will be Yannis Albert who leads the standings as we come into Le Mans Round 4. We've had one sunset race so far this season at Spa just before Christmas, but here are your standings. Yannis Albert leads with Luke Tracy, Ewan Stitchbury, Thomas Pugh and Christophe de Meyer in the top 5. Christina Brega, Paul Collishaw, Matt Hoyland, Henry Nackery and Piers Berry are in the top 10, whilst in the Evo class, we've got a nice little championship brewing here. Joe Glass leads, Matthew Jones and Nathan Crook second and third, with Javier Talavera and Gary Mitchell. James Rankin, James Bostock, Stephen Donnelly, Ashley Brooks and Dennis Collar are in the top 10 as well. So a good little championship forming there between Matthew Jones and Joe Glass, but in the team's championship it is those two of them, the Glass Tech Racing cars, who lead the way by quite a distance ahead of the La Penny Racing duo of Yannis Albert and Piers Berry. And Brega and Lucchese, the two South African drivers, are in third place, and you can see further down the order we've got a nice tight championship picture. And finally, on these little results screens, we have the instant ratings. Thomas Pugh, John Breitenbach are the two best or the cleanest drivers in that Premier class. They are joined along with Victor Brown, Robert Hamilton and Joe Sparrow, whilst in the Evo it's Javier Talavera, Joe Glass, Gary Mitchell, Matthew Jones and James Rankin, who are those 5 drivers who are in line to get a iRacing voucher. But here's the calendar. We've done Gilles Villeneuve, Spa and Sebring. We're at Le Mans for the 1-hour sunset race. We'll be at Watkins Glen next week, and then we'll round out the season with Suzuka, Mugello, Kota and Bathurst. But we're just about to get going for this 1-hour sunset race. It's a bit of a warm-up session going on, but it will be Aidan Neat, I'm pretty sure, who will start from pole position. Of course, we're using the full circuit at Le Mans. Lap times are about 4 minutes, just under about 3:54, I believe was the pole time. So, you know, the times are fast. Of course, my name's Darragh Thacker. Joining me alongside is Dean Biggles. And Biggles, a 1-hour race at Le Mans, this could go anyway, really, couldn't it?
It certainly can, and it's going to come down to those crucial timing, your pit stops, traffic as well, although you do have a lot longer circuit than what we've seen before in the past, so that should be much, well, traffic shouldn't be as dramatic, but there will be cars spread out everywhere, overtaking opportunities around this track. There are certain places you can certainly get it done, but those long straightaways, now that's going to be interesting to see. These cars that they've locked in at the start of the season, they're stuck with for the rest of the season. How are you feeling about that? Lamborghinis don't seem to be at the top of the timesheets before. We'll get those grid results for you soon. We're doing a bit of a pop session at the moment after that qualifying session they just came from. Any other particular ones you would have thought the high-powered machines, maybe the Mercedes and stuff like that, are pretty good down those main straightaways. And James would say the Porsche does the Porsche things.
Yeah, I mean, you're right about they have to stick with it throughout the season. I remember that I think I was looking in the chat earlier, and someone asked jokingly if they could change car, and I think they got told they'd get a big points deduction if they did. So, yeah, it's gonna be an interesting one, and I think you're right. High power around Le Mans definitely going to be important. Of course, it was so many long straights down the Mulsanne. Changing here from who we're on board with as they come through one of the Mulsanne chicanes, the first one of the two. But, I mean, absolutely. We might see some trains off the start with the slipstream down the Mulsanne before we get down towards Indianapolis. So, I'm looking forward to this. A 1-hour sunset race. It's because it's a long lap, you're going to have less chances to pit. Of course, I was told that the drivers are each given 30 litres of fuel to start with, and then all the drivers could decide if and when they want to pit after that. And James Bostock, the boss man, said it would typically be a one stop, so that's what we're going to have to look out for. But yeah, I think for the championship picture, with this being a sunset race, of course there are no reverse grids like there are in the events where we have 2 30-minute races. You just get 100 points for the win, so I mean, it's going to be really important for a championship challenge to get a win here, or at least a second or third.
Oh, that was silly. Whoever was doing that. Sorry to cut you off.
Oh, I just saw
It's
that.
pulled straight out head front. Now, they probably will not get in trouble for practice sessions, I would imagine, but yeah, wow. I don't think Luke's pretty happy with that. He's gone straight back out again.
I didn't see that. I was looking at the point system, and then I look up and I see cars all over the road.
Well, there it is there.
Yeah. Word. I think they're the 2 teammates actually, looking by the looks of the cars.
Could have been having fun with the teammates, so that, yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. Caught the end of that one.
Yeah, rear end slide there. But yeah, I think we're in the warm-up phase, aren't we here?
Yes,
So
yeah. It's okay.
not long to go before the race. It's a slightly longer warm-up than usual because of the fact that it's such a long track. So I think the warm-up is set to 5 minutes rather than your customary 2 or 3. So we'll get going shortly, and we'll be able to show you the grid. I think we're 48, if not 49 strong this evening, so another very large grid, nicely full. And we should see some battles up and down the field, which is always a pleasure to call. But I mean, yeah, I'm looking forward to this one in general, Dean, because I think Le Mans produces racing that you don't really see elsewhere. Of course, it's a very particular circuit. It's a road circuit, but of course it uses natural roads, and the straights are so long. But when it gets tight, as we see it through the final chicane. So I mean, could we see some incidents here this evening?
Yes, we will. I guarantee you we will. It's just inevitable. With this many cars on the track, yeah, we've seen it, obviously, throughout the season. Probably, you want to make sure that there's no first corner incident, of course, at the very start there. That's going to cause a massive pile-up of cars. But we'll have to see. You see the weather conditions as well, too. But we got those grid to go over for you right now.
Here we go then. This is your grid for the 1 hour long race. Nathan Neat will be on pole. Yanis Ulber in P2, the championship leader. Tristan Dinnebrega and Luke Tracy, the 2 RSDA drivers, RDSA, sorry, in 3rd and 4th. There's Jean Breitenbach and Henry Knackery in 5th and 6th. Henry Knackery, of course, winning the last round at Sebring. Ewan Stitchbury, Kevin Simon, Matt Hoyland, Ryan Ottens, Thomas Pugh and Peter Cox in the top 12, and then we look further down to see Paul Robson and the leader of the Evo class, Robin Aston in P14, Manish Stangle, Marcel Breitenbach with Robert Hamilton and Matthew Jones in 17th and 18th, Jeremy Orlemans and Scott Koskrick, Rob McKee, Javi Talavera, James Rankin and John Ludbrook are in the top half of the field. Then we move on to Chris Keenan and Hussein Sarika Dessler, Stephen Donnelly and Mark Robinson, Gareth Newton and Alex Bretwell in the top 30, James Bostock, Graham Matthew, Russell Jakes, Stephen Capered, Danny Weir and Matt Barnett round out the top 36. The final drivers in the starting order: Joe Glass in 37th, Christophe Demay, and then we have Paul Colashaw and Jamie Rees, Daniel Nance, Gary Sparrow, Alex Konratz, Nathan Crook, Gary Mitchell, Dennis Collar, McConaughey and Anderson at the back of the field. And just the one more driver, Ashley Brooks, 49 strong grid, and yeah, I think we might see quite a few moments of drama here. I mean, it even looks like the pace car's missing some front end there, but it might not be. Oh no, it's not. It's because the angle I was looking at it. But yeah, we've got 24 and a half rows to get us underway, and I think coming through this final little sector, Dean, we might see a little bit of contact between the drivers just because it's so tight through the final little chicanes.
We do have our timing should come up soon. It's a lot to handle here at the moment. Aiden currently at the moment, that pink machine that you're looking at, he's definitely top class field drivers, a few of them as well too. Did a bit of a switcheroo on us again. Season come on Evolution out there from Martin.
just about to start the lap. Start the race as well. It'll be a 1 hour, as we've said, 1 hour long race. Anything can happen, and it often does, quite frankly. So we'll have to see what unfolds here at Le Mans. We're just about ready to get going. Come through the final couple of corners. The pace car will leave and dive its way into the pit lane. Will release Aiden Neitz and Yannick Gilbert as they come through these final couple of corners. You can see the pace car there. Will go through the final few corners. Well, it might peel into the pits there, but peeling late as we see them coming through these final couple of chicanes up at Ford and Record de Mont. Let's see though, as they come out of the final corner, Aiden Neat will get us underway. The green flag flies, but when will Aiden Neat decide to drop the hammer? We're underway here at Le Mans for the 1 hour long sunset race. It's round 4 of the ESR Season 3, and Aiden Neat gets us underway. Yannick Gilbert is in the slipstream, and we see Luke Lucchesi, Henry Nackery and John Breitenbach in the slipstream as they run their way up towards the opening corners. But Aiden Neat controls the line as they run their way through. Luke Lucchesi is just ahead of Henry Nackery in that black and orange checkered car as they now go under the Dunlop Bridge and will run their way down towards, of course, one of the most important corners on the racetrack at Tertre Rouge, which will get you down onto the Mulsanne straight. But Aiden Neat looks pretty comfortable for now, but that slipstream will come into effect pretty shortly as they get their way onto the Mulsanne. A couple of moves in the background, but it's a pretty even start from the guys at the front, and we'll have to see who will get the slipstream down towards these chicanes.
You can see currently at the moment, Matt Hoyland is coming off a bad performance that he had in the previous race. It's got some better qualifying position at the moment. They're currently sitting about P7, a bit of a challenge down into the backstretch.
People see with all the trees there, isn't it?
Yeah, chop them down actually. Here we go.
From the helicopter shot, but Matt Hoyland will stick in behind Kevin Simon and will be ahead of John Breitenbach, who hasn't had the best of starts off the line. I think Tristan Brega may have started further down than his grid position would have suggested, with everybody else moving up ahead of him. But it has been a good start for the likes of Matt Hoyland, Kevin Simon getting past John Breitenbach. But here comes Matt Hoyland on the back of Kevin Simon. Can he make the line? He's got the inside line down towards this next chicane, as we don't see any moves at the front between Neat and Hulbert, but Matt Hoyland has the inside line on that green and yellow GT3 car as Matt Hoyland in the Lamborghini sweeps through, and he's made up yet another position. He's up to P6. It's a great start for him.
Job done getting it done early. Going to be happy out there with hopefully the DXT Motorsport spotter should be out there giving him that information. Probably not in the chat just yet there because they're focusing on getting everything done. You're right, Tristan's dropped 27 places away back here currently. So I'm quite sure what happened in the restart. Race control. Incidents. He went into pit road.
Well,
that's why.
That'll explain it. We'll see him trying to make a move here, actually, on James Boston. But someone's going very slow. That's Luke Lucchesi. Yes. Luke Lucchesi was right up there. I think he was in P3, in fact, and he's had a slow down penalty as they come off the Mulsanne straight through the Virage Mulsanne and up towards Indianapolis. So that's disaster early on there from Luke Lucchesi, who's dropped all the way back to P16 now, which is absolutely not what he would have wanted to see. Is now Kevin Simon's under pressure from John Breitenbach as they do come through Indianapolis, but can't quite make the move through just yet. But they really are jockeying for position early on.
Yeah, who's at the background there? Ooh, going slow. Is that Marcel? No. Could be Thomas
Pugh. Yeah. That red machine. If he can get his way up the order once again. But I mean, it's good start from like Paul Robson, Marcel Breitenbach, who's up 5 places at the moment. Disaster there for Luke Lucchesi and Tristan Brega. They're on the second row. They're now miles back as Robert Hamilton disappears.
Yeah, it's good.
I think. Yeah, that's an issue. Ooh.
This is going to look at this. Yeah, this is evolving into an accident here. Bang! He takes out actually Joe Glass. Actually, Phil does. That's Joe. You can see right there.
Joe Glass, of course, the championship leader in the Evo class, and that is not where he would want to be. I have to say, I do love that Yorkshire T livery on Phil McConaughey's car. That's fantastic.
Yeah, that's the end of it. So have a look. If you look at where Joe is. Can't find Joe. there.
Seems like a bit of an innocent victim there, doesn't he? But it's unlucky, but that's just what's happened. I think there's a bit of a slowdown penalty. Garzo literally crazy. Runs his way up, trying to get through on another position. So we see up further Matt Hoyland now trying to get through and René Stangl. Something happened to Matt Hoyland because he was further up the order, now slipping back, but he's trying to make the move back for P11 and have the inside line here as the Bugatti circuit splits off from the full circuit. But Matt Hoyland now back up into P11, and we have some close battles up and down the field, not least Dave Neat and Yannis Albert. Well, there's only 4/10 between the two leaders at the moment. I don't believe that graphic on the left-hand side of your screen. The top three in the Premier class are the top three on the track. They are Aidan Neat, Yannis Albert, and Ewan Stitchbury. But I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how, I mean, in the Evo class, there is a big little gaggle of cars. I mean, Robin Aston leads it, but he might be making a move here on René Stangl in the background. You can see him weaving around, trying to find a way to come through. He'll have an inside line here on René Stangl, but I don't think he's going to be able to send it. No, thinks better of it as he comes down into the first chicane. But further up in front, Ryan Ottman's now fighting away. I think that's with Kevin Simon. Indeed it is. And he's currently ahead, but they are really going to be side by side as they come towards the second chicane. And I mean, we're already seeing lots of side-by-side moments, aren't we, Dean? But, I mean, coming down into the chicanes, it's difficult to send it because they're quite open, aren't they?
Yes, it is very, very difficult to send it, but they're going to have to give it a go. You break that slipstream, and bingo, into an overtaken opportunity here, but not quite there just yet. We have a gamble for the lead. There it is. It's a switcheroo. So now Yannis is into the lead of this race there for that. Obviously, we can't miss that pink-wheeled Lambo. Lambo 1 and 2 currently at the moment. I wonder if they even got a slowdown or something. It looks like very, very, very slow currently at the moment. Way out of that.
We just dropped a second and a half down the straight between Mulsanne, or between the second chicane and the Mulsanne. So yeah, I think he may have got a slowdown.
Maybe we've got a replay of this. Yeah, he has. That's a slowdown for sure. You wouldn't have just lifted like that much. Unless he's got a different strategy at play.
I mean, he might have a different strategy, but surely that wouldn't include being 2 seconds behind. We'll wait and see. Ewan Stitchbury on the back of Henry Nackery as they make their way down towards Indianapolis. But I don't think he'll be able to make a move. I mean, looking further back in the pack, just on the tower, we've got some very close battles back there. Javier Talavera, Stephen Donnelly, they're side by side, I think, as they come down towards Indianapolis. And Joe Sparrow as well. We see Matt Hoyland and Luke Lucchese fighting their way now. Matt Hoyland trying to pick up yet another position, and indeed he does as they come through Arnage up towards the Porsche curve. So good work from Matt Hoyland so far after we didn't exactly see what happened to Matt Hoyland, but he did lose those couple of positions. He's regaining them as quickly as he can. René Stangl's his next target. Can he make a move into the Porsche curves? That'll be a very brave one. He's looking for it, but not quite going to make the move in the end. We're sitting behind, try and find the line, but it can be very frustrating through the Porsche curves because it's difficult to overtake through here.
And Luke Leclerc, he's definitely on a rampage right now, and Matt's not going to want to yield that one up anytime soon. Obviously, clearly Luke has got some pace there. A few of the other drivers do as well too. Robin Aston. And that's Renee.
Slow down.
And a huge slowdown. Yes. Ooh. Oh, that's also going to cause a massive gaggle of cars. It's Matthew Jones goes off the track. Oh, he's going to pit road.
Yeah,
early pit stop.
We'll have to see how the pit stops work out for these guys. That feels like an early pit stop, but he might know exactly what he's doing. He might be getting out of the traffic, trying to get some clean air pound lap times in. We'll wait and see. But he will come to a stop. There's someone else with him. I think that's Javier Talavera, who's joined him in the pit lane. But he's really gapped out at the front of the race now. I think the only two, it's only Luke Lucchese in the back of Matt Hoyland now. So let's have a look further back. Not anymore. Who knows? Slowdown penalty there. Yep. Yeah, it must be a slowdown penalty for Matt Hoyland unless he's gone incredibly wide there, which might be possible, but he's lost a lot of time. Either way, Lucchese is through. I mean, further back in the pack, I mean, there are some tight trains back there. I mean, you're looking at Thomas Pugh on the back of René Stangl. René Stangl is looking very vulnerable at the moment, and Thomas Pugh might come around the outside as they make their way down the Mulsanne straight. But it just takes a little bit of a while, doesn't it, Dean? Because they're side by side all the way down this straight before they get to the chicane, but you can't really gain too much on the other car. So you're just waiting and waiting until you can try and make the move to chicane further up though, just in front. I think that's Jeremy Orlemans on Robert Hamilton looking for the move, and he'll go to the inside of the first chicane down this straight. And I think Jeremy Orlemans has that move done, and indeed he does. Stangle just sweeping across Thomas Pugh to keep that position as well. But we are seeing moves consistently. Of course, we're only in the first 10 minutes, still a long way to go. But realistically, we're only looking at 15, maybe 16 laps in this race. So you've got to make the moves when the opportunities are gifted to you.
Of course you absolutely do. I think sometimes some of those drivers that elected to jump in a pit road there was purely because they saw that gaggle of traffic there and I thought, I'm losing too much time there. I don't want to get involved. You see what happens when you get 4 or 5 cars together on the track. There's incidents, you saw that before, didn't you, with Mr. Joe Glass. So, best sometimes to avoid that in a long race. You've still got 50 minutes to go. And see how it pans out later on, of course. Do you driving on the track there by yourself? Some drivers love it. It's like so much quicker, of course, if they've got clean air, they can just get on with it. Other drivers love to have the other cars around them because it actually encourages them to actually go quicker as well, too. You can see the speed difference that they do, see the mistakes that they're doing, and actually helps create you become a better driver too. So it just depends on what the drivers particularly like.
Yeah, and that's true, isn't it? Because of course, well, with the Premier and the Evo class, of course, there are those with I ratings above 1600 in the Premier class and those below in the Evo class. So the Evo class will try and learn a little bit from those guys at the front. Robin Aston, I'm sure, will be enjoying his time in the top 11 at the moment. He's the lead Evo class driver, but Robert Hamilton is not too far behind him. We see Jeremy Orlemans here. He's been dropping back all the way through this lap. I think he started the lap in P13, P14, and he got overtaken by a few cars down in towards the Mulsanne hairpin. But he's currently ahead of James Rankin and Tristan Dennebrega, who's on a bit of a comeback after being down, I think, 34th at the start of the race, or just on lap 1, as we see Joe Sparrow now find his way through on Alex, or trying to find his way through on Alex Fretwell. It's nice to see some of these battles further back from the cars. We don't often see when there's battling at the front, but it's nice to highlight some of the battles all the way through the order, because of course we've got such a big grid that there's so many cars to feature, isn't there? I mean, Joe Sparrow, one of them, trying to come around the outside here of Mark Robinson, and does. Maybe a slowdown penalty for Mark Robinson, maybe a poor line, but actually it's a great move either way, as Fretwell also got through, but at the front they're all in.
Absolutely correct, they're all heading a pit road. Everybody at the moment so far, down to P10, P11, P12, P13, 14, 15, and so forth. So here we go, they're all going in. So battle of the pit road. Yanis came in first. Going to be interesting what they're going to be able to take. Look at that pit road, everybody's coming in. Apart from, of course, the drivers, Christian, so DeMay stayed out. The only ones that stayed out for an extra lap. We'll see how that's going to pan out. But everybody else that I can see currently at the moment is in pit road. So they are taking on tyres, of course, and gasoline. Charge those batteries up. They're not electric.
My only thought could be here is that...
flickering now. It's trying to handle out all the cars in pit road at the moment. Look.
My word, yeah, there were 30 litres of fuel that each car had to start with, so maybe there's a bit of a fuel concern that they're all coming in on the same lap. Maybe Christoph knows exactly what he's doing, but he's very alone at the moment on the track as he makes his way down the Mulsanne. Yanis Hilbert will come out just behind Aiden Neat with those flashy pink wheels that we mentioned back in Sebring, but they will make their way through in second and third. We'll look at Henry Nackery now, who is now clear in fourth. He's going to be trying to chase down the top two as Christophe Demay will come through. I'm just trying to work out who wasn't in the pit lane, and I think... Was it, who was it that pit one lap early? Was it Matthew Jones that pit one lap early?
Yeah, I'm trying to think about that one, actually, yes. I'm trying to find where they are, actually. Because now that they've all boxed, it's showing them all taking that one pit stop. Is it Matthew Jones? Yeah, I think it was Matthew Jones, wasn't it? Yeah, exactly, for the Glasstec Racing Team. He currently back down in P14, but he has gained 4 places. That blinking should sort itself out. Basically, what's happening is that it's trying to catch up with all that telemetry timing as they're all switching around pit road, and you can see. So, what, 40-something cars, all trying to send packet their data to to iRacing and back to my computer and so forth, all within fractions of a second. Because they all did it pit stop at once, that's the reason why it happened. But thankfully now it's sorting itself out as they're making their way back out onto the track. So practically, a quarter of the track currently at the moment has dots in it and cars everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, there's 49 cars on track. They are absolutely all over the road. We see Matthew Jones. Of course, as we mentioned, we think he was the driver that pitted the one lap earlier. Again, we saw better right on the back of Aiden Neat. Of course, they are a long way behind Christophe Demay, but Christophe Demay is yet to take his pit stop. They are 40 seconds back, but we'll have to see if Christophe can pick up any positions with the strategy he's going for. I think he started quite deep in the pack, actually, so... I think he won the round in terms of he won the most points back at Sebring, so bit of a surprise to see him further back, but he's going to make his way through in the best way that he possibly can. Be interesting to see, now that we've seen everybody come in so early, whether they might pit again, or whether they'll all try and go to the end. I think, judging by what was said by the bossman James Bostock earlier, I think they should all be planning to go to the end, but it just depends what some drivers want. I'd be surprised if they want to go with another pit stop, considering that it loses you upwards of 45 seconds, because I think it's going to be quite difficult to recover over only a 1 hour period, but we'll wait and see. Giannis Hilbert right on the back of 8 Neat, as he has been all lap long as they come through towards Indianapolis, but won't make a move just yet. These two seem very well matched on pace at the moment, don't they?
There's your pit stop time. Yeah, exactly. Give or take 40-something seconds. You can see Russell Jax also has not pit boxed just yet down there, and P13-14 now, actually. As I'd say, he's probably heading in. No, he's too far away to head in. I think he's just dropped something there at the moment. Mistake, perhaps. But that means that Christopher here, leading this one, has to go on a pit road at this point. You can imagine he can't possibly stay out for another lap. There he is. So he'll end up losing that position, obviously, to the two battling at the front. But where will he slot back in? That will be the question.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be important for Christophe Demay. I mean, he's the only one pitting, of course. He will have no one around him. It's going to feel like a very long time stationary. As you can see, Aiden, he was over, he was probably 1.5 kilometres behind Christophe Demay when Christophe came into the pit lane. That, of course, will vanish in terms of the gap, and in fact, it'll go into negative figures because Aiden will be in the lead of the race when Christophe Demay comes out of the pit lane, but just where will he come out in that purple Aura Motorsports car? There goes Aiden. Yeah, they go through. But what about Christophe Demay? Here comes Henry Nackery come through. Has Christophe Demay started moving yet? No, I don't think he has.
Still there. So it's going to be frustrating to hear all these cars zooming on by. Now he's leaving, but there's a gaggle of cars coming. He could get out ahead of Luke here. No, maybe not. Maybe Matt is. There's Matt Hoyland. And out comes, Christopher, no, he's still there. That's painful. He's just going at the speed limit on the pit road. That's going to drop him down and probably around 20th or no. There's Tristan. Get out of
He's going to be close to Tristan. Yeah, I mean, these two weren't in a good position on lap 1, so they're both trying to recover. Points go down to 20th place, but of course, it's only 2 points for 20th, so it's not going to help you out too much in terms of a championship, so they'll be hoping to continue to make their way through. I believe with 1, 2, 3, 4 Evo drivers in front of them, they'd be looking at 14th and 15th at the moment. If we look up to the front, these two, I mean, we're not even a third of the way through this race yet, and they're already nearly 7 seconds clear of the rest. They're showing some great pace at the moment.
Yeah, they're in a league. They're in a class of their own, really, these two drivers. And it's good to see them back together again after that slowdown that Aiden had to deal with. Paul Robertson at the moment there, and Luke. So it looks like Luke might have just got the job done there. He has. He's on the P7.
I mean, there's some jostling for position at the moment, where there are some drivers that may be trying to position themselves in terms of maybe saving a bit of fuel to go for it later on, or maybe just trying to think about the long game. Maybe if they let the driver pass into the first chicane, to try and get back through by the time they get to the Arnage hairpin. You see Daniel Nans losing it on the straight all on his own there. Very weird
Oh,
incident. Oh, as that is. Oh, I can guarantee whoever that was coming through.
He's trying to pull off, but then, you know, where are you going to go at that point? That's probably a technical issue or something like that for sure, isn't it? To lose on a straight like that. Maybe had a disconnection, a wheel disconnect, or a cat jumped up onto your lap or something like that. Something's either happened, but... Oh, Tristan's had a moment.
Let's see that again.
Oh, it's a slowdown.
Oh, no, I think he slowdown penalty. Yeah, slowdown penalty for Tristan. So that's not ideal for him. I've just seen actually in the general chat of the.
Oh, it's pulled off.
Of the. Oh, was he retired?
Yeah. I know, technical
well.
issue there.
Yeah,
It's too early, isn't it? You've still got 40 minutes left of a race. You won't be pulling over the retired just yet because your pace isn't there. His pace was there.
Yeah, so must be technical. I was to say I've just seen in the GT3 chat in the server, Aiden Neat has just posted a photo of him driving down the Mulsanne Straight. It's a lovely thing to do, but it's a little bit. I'll see what the other drivers think about it later because it's nice to be out in the lead, not having to worry about the drivers around you. But yeah, Aiden Neat there having a nice time, it seems, at the front.
What do you
of the
mean he was
field,
doing?
right
He was
with
posting
Amstel
it
there.
like a selfie or something? Ooh.
Yeah, yes. Oh, there's a spin
Alex.
there. That's yeah. Alex Fretwell around, and there's someone else there as well as they blink their way through. But yeah. I mean, in the GT3 chat in the server, you might be able to see it, but it's just a neat little bit of a selfie with him and his sim while he's driving down the Mulsanne Straight, which is.
Oh, this is a difficult place for
not a
Alex.
sight you
Alex
see
needs to
often.
try to turn it. He's going to do a little 50-point turn there because it's a dangerous situation as drivers are coming around the corner. Well, that's going to drop him back to 40th place currently at the moment, Alex Fretwell. As Jonas just said, it's the fastest lap, no doubt, still tucked up with the gearbox there of Aiden Nate. At least we got to start in the sunset, so we do get to see the lovely liveries that everybody's put the effort into. Of course, very, very soon, give or take in the next 10 minutes, you're just going to see nothing but headlights.
Yeah, I mean, when it gets darker around here, it can be a little bit trickier, especially down into the final sectors when the cars can be so close. But we'll have to see how that one works out. Of course, they've all had 1 hour experience at Spa, when I think it was dark pretty much from the start, or unless it was sunset pretty much from the start. But now look at Marcel Brighton back. But I mean, they'll come through now.
Was it
As
going
we
back in
see
again?
Christophe Demay back in the pit lane. I mean, that's a surprise. Unless everyone had to do 2 stops and he's gone for a different strategy to everybody else, I'm not too sure. We'll
But
see
you
going
wouldn't have done
into
it
here.
immediately, right? I mean, that's a full
yeah,
tank of gas. That's gonna be heavy. Take you what, 37 minutes left of this race. I don't know. Why would you stay that extra pit stop, the extra pit lap, stayed out for that one more when everybody else boxed at the same time, and then comes in what, 2 laps later? I don't know.
Bit of a weird one, isn't it? But there might be a plan there. There might have been an issue on his car, but we'll have to wait and see. Aiden Neat.
Oh, here's a gaggle of cars. There's Matthew Jones at the moment too as well. Nathan Cook out there says as Warren says, he needs to get into the top 5. Well, Nathan at the moment is not even in the top 20.
Yeah, Nathan Jones is a long way down, isn't he? Can't even see him on the top 35 there.
Nathan Cook is in 42nd place currently at the moment. Hello, Aiden Nate. How are you chatting and driving at the same time? That's our race leader in the chat.
Just seen that, yeah. Clearly, it's going well enough that he can protect himself. He can chat in the.
He's got a car up his tailpipe right now. That's going to take a little bit of pressure.
He does, but I mean, if he's far enough in front, down at the start of the Mulsanne Straight, he must be able to work it out, of course. He was in the, if I'm not mistaken, he was in British Formula 4 last season, so good in the sim racing world and in the real racing world too. He currently leads us away ahead of Yanis Albert, but he looks like he's enjoying himself at the moment. I think it's his first race of the season.
It is actually, because I don't have him listed in the right category. So they didn't. The boss man didn't give me the right things. I needed your iRacing number and stuff like that, so I could put it in and correct it. That's a habit.
Fairness, from memory signed up this afternoon, if I remember the chat correctly. It might have been someone else, but I think it was someone. But no, it was. Yeah, I think he's signed up this afternoon. So yeah, I think just some new data there for Aiden as he comes into the chat. There's a spin there. That's Matt Hoyland.
Oh, it's Matty.
He's had a bit of an up and down race.
Oh,
hasn't he?
and he's in a horrible place once again too. One of those places you don't want to spin because Liquiria has to go. Let's have a look what happened. I think he's snapped the brake here. Yeah, there it is. And it goes around. And now, painfully, luckily he's just off the racing line, but painfully he has to wait and wait and wait for these cars to go through. And there's a lot of them. Probably a little bit of damage on the rear end of that car too. There he is. Now I can get going. And drop about 5 places, 6 places or something like that. Probably not the end of the world. Certainly because you've still got 35 minutes to go.
Better to be facing the right way when you spin around than the wrong way, because like you said, we've seen it before. You've got to try and reverse just a little bit and then turn you out, which can be a nightmare. Just after seeing Aiden put in the chat that Yanis is kind of quick. So you know Yanis is there, but he's not under pressure too much at the moment. I mean,
I can't believe Aiden's taking his hand off the wheel here to type this, unless he's got somebody else typing for him. But...
No, to be fair, I mean, this is probably the only track that I can think, or at least on the calendar this season.
Around here,
where...
he could probably type, right? As soon as it exits the corner here, down
Exactly,
the main straightaway. Now you could probably do it, especially as you said, like, you know, he has driven real racing cars for a living before, so it's probably not too bad for him.
I knew that name from somewhere, and then I remembered. Ah, yeah, he's in Formula 4. Quite annoyingly younger than me. Which I'm starting to have to get used to. But yeah, he's currently leading, but Yanis he's closer than ever, I have to say. Down in towards that first chicane, but Yanis not trying it just yet. He's just sitting in behind, maybe trying to work out where the best place to make the move is. He's got more than enough time to do so. You and Stitch will be on the back of Henry Knackery as well. We've got a couple of battles for first and then for third. But then we've got some good battles further back as well. A few tight battles. A notable one, actually, looking at the timing tower. Joe Glass and Ashley Brooks.
It's going to be gone for this one now. This is the closest you're going to see. Oh, stop blinking on us, please. We need to see this. Now, is Aiden going to go defensive? Oh, he did. He parked it in the right place there. Yanis is going to get a little bit of frustration. Will start crowing. Well, not just yet. You know, you still got plenty of time. He's probably happy to sit there and follow him for another 33 minutes. But do they have to pit again? There you go, Aiden. Out there, seeing you are driving and chatting. Are you going to be boxing again?
I think that'll be an interesting question, to be fair, if he's boxing again. I mean, we've seen a couple box again, but we're not too sure whether that was for damage or whether that was strategic. We'll have to wait and see. Still a long way to go, of course. Over half an hour. So, Thomas Pugh making his way through now on Matthew Jones as they make their way through the second chicane and down towards the Arnage hairpin. But we're in this kind of stage in the race where people they might be going for the move, but they're also they've kind of worked out where their pace is at compared to the other drivers. So they might just be thinking about how to try and make the move stick on a few of these drivers, and where they can try and make it to last in the next 15-20 minutes, maybe to the end of the race. So, for example, here Matthew Jones, he could come under a little bit of pressure from the drivers behind in Rob McKee, but Rob might be thinking that he could try and make his way through, for example, into Indianapolis if he can, because then he might defend in towards the rest of the lap. But I'm sure these guys are thinking about all these different scenarios at the moment, as it does start to get darker here over Le Mans. But yeah, I mean, the top two are away now. I mean, they're nearly a quarter of a minute ahead now, and we're not even halfway through this race yet. They've had some fantastic pace.
Nice battle here between Joe and Hussein. You practiced the surname, right? You have, from this gentleman? Sarah
Kadesla.
Sarah Kadesla.
There you go, Sarah Kadesla. I was very pleased when I got that right the first time. But yeah, he's been overtaken there by Joe Sparr, and Matt Barnett's in behind. Just seeing in the YouTube chat, Aiden says that he won't be pitting again.
Right, yeah, I saw that. Thank you very much for that. Yeah.
All right. Nice, right? I was just going to say, it's good to
have a driver texting and driving us information as we're coming along, exactly.
Obviously, you don't want to be doing texting and driving in the real world, but you can kind of get away with it slightly. in
Virtual.
in the virtual world. There's no one to come take your license from you with these. So yeah, we'll have to see. I don't know if Aiden needs to driving.
Well, you could bin it.
I'm sure he probably. I'm sure Aiden will tell me if he has in the chat or not. But yeah, I don't think you're too long at 17. But we'll see on that one. Who's in Sarah Cadesla? He's off the back of Joe Sparrow, as we we're talking about. He's not really pushing Joe Sparrow through, but he's not leaving too much time. He's sitting in behind, so we go straight up. This is Robert Hamilton. Too wide up towards the opening couple of corners into the chicane, and Robert Hamilton will easily defend that move, I believe. I think it was Robin Aston looking for the move, but then you've got Marcel Breitenbach looking for it as well, and Thomas Pugh in this fight as well. So we might see a couple of overtakes in this little train soon.
I hope so. It's looking like it.
Onto the Mulsanne we go. And Marcel... Oh, no, sorry, onto the Mulsanne they go now, as Marcel's right on the back of Robin Aston, but he can't get complacent because Thomas Pugh is just as close, and in fact he's pulling out of the slipstream to try and defend from Thomas Pugh. As hard as that idea, because he might be giving an extra bit of a boost to Thomas Pugh, who will have a slipstream, while Marcel does not. We'll see what happens down to this first chicane. Pulling out of the slipstream is Thomas Pugh, and he'll have the slipstream off of Robin Aston there as they come down towards this first chicane. Such a long run down there. But what will be the order when they come out? And it'll be Thomas Pugh ahead quite easily. He had the inside line. It wasn't really much Marcel could do there. As Thomas Pugh had that inside line. It's difficult to dance your way around the outside because if you carry too much speed into the second part of that chicane, you're going to find yourself in the tyre barrier on the outside. Ronnie Stangl and James Rankin now fighting it out. Oh no, that's Rob McKee, I should say, fighting it out with James Rankin and Jeremy Williams just in behind. But there are some good trains forming now about halfway through this race.
That there are. We're going to have a three-way battle into the corner here. We will. I'm seeing if anybody else wanted to go to make it a fourth, but car in the background, like him to get off. This could turn out wrong, actually. It's turned out perfectly, hasn't it, there from James? I think you can see he snuck the car right up in there and gets it done. He has. That's a double overtake. 2 for the price of 1.
Double overtake. It's good to get those moves done when you can, isn't it? And I don't think James will be too displeased with that because it's just a little bit. It made his life a little bit easier for the rest of this race. Past half distance, we are now here at Le Mans. As we see, that's close up there between James Rankin and Rene Stangl, but I don't think Rene's going to be able to come through, and indeed it's not. Rob McKee and Jeremy Orleman's in behind. Matt Hoyland as well is in that bit of a battle, but we continue on as we support Coleshaw. Make his way down in towards the Arnage, no sorry, not Arnage, the Mulsanne hairpin, sorry, not the Arnage corner, as they now run their way down towards Indianapolis, as Matt Barnett looks to defend from Hussein Saragadassler, who's on the inside. There's nearly a little bit of contact there as they make their way through, but it'll be interesting to see how this one plays out, because Saragadassler will have the inside line for the first part, but not the second part. There's still side-by-side action further up with Kostrick getting through on... John Ludbrook getting through on Kostrick.
That's contact.
Back up the inside. That's a spin. Oh, no, that's a horrible place to be.
Yeah, once again, he's going to have to sit there and wait. Now he can do it back up. Oh, he's lucky there's a bit of gap action traffic there. For Scotty, can't miss his car, of course, for the KM Racing Scotsman. And that'll drop him back to currently P25, give or take, but those other battles still brewing further up the road.
A big battle's brewing. I mean, look at the train here. 5 cars now, all fighting over P14 with James Rankin, Rob McKee, Jeremy Orleman, Ronnie Stangl, Matt Hoyland, all involved in this one, and they are nose to tail. Matt Hoyland's had a bit of an up and down day so far. I think there's even still weighing a move for P3 on Henry Knackery as well. I just saw them swap on the time down, but we'll focus here on Orlemans and McKee. Jeremy Orlemans trying to come down the inside in towards these chicanes. He's going to have that move done on Rob McKee in the BMW, and he's not got too much of a reply. We'll see what will happen as they make their way through the second part of the chicane.
Switch around the leaders.
Close. They're in second leaders. That's another slowdown penalty from Aiden Neat, or is he just playing around a little bit? It looks like it was. It must have been a mistake at least. To try and see what happened there between the top two, but yeah, Yannis Wilbert is through once again. We'll see the replay here.
Yes, slow down, look.
Yeah.
He's had to lift big time there, and allow Yanis, unless he's just actually deliberately lifted off there and says, I'm bored of leading this race at the moment. Let me follow Yanis for a bit. Interesting. Further back too, that you said that there was a battle between Stitchberry got past too, didn't he? So let's have a look. Let's see that one. Yeah, that's the battle for P3. Here, this is here. That's just around the outside straight in, isn't it? There it is. So he gets past Henry.
Nice move from Henry, Ewan Stitchberry, sorry, on Henry Nackery. These two are fighting over positions relatively similar in the championship, as we have a look at John Brighton back now, trying to get through an Henry Nackery. Oh no, Henry Nackery's there, he just appeared. I didn't realize he was there.
Metal
they were so close
random.
together. He was pretty much inside the back, he was in the boot of Ewan Stitchberry's car, sorry, I think I should say, but, you know, maybe in there with his groceries, but as they make their way down towards the Malzahn hairpin, these three are nose to tail at the moment. I see also as well, moves being made further back. I think Peter Cox through on Hussein Zarakadesla and Kosric through on Stephen Donnelly as well, but in this battle down in towards the hairpin, we see John Brighton back. I don't think he's going to be close enough, and no, not going to be able to make that move, and neither is Henry, and they will continue in third, fourth and fifth in this order, but 20 seconds off the top two now.
And you can see the top two on the track map going to start catching some traffic slowly at the back there. That shouldn't be too much of a problem for them. Still further back, we've got a couple of different brews that are battles that are brewing here. That's further back there of 16th, so 16th, 17th and 18th. Matt Hoyland now in the mix, trying to claw his way back up. 7 positions down from his original starting positions that he'd gained up, and now he's trying to work it back there. The DXT Motorsport. Couple of DXT entrances. Ashley Brooks is down there in P29. So what that they said last week was, no, actually early this week, of course, when we played the replay, that they were going to put something on the car there for the DXT. Little joke that they had out there. See anything?
Not too sure. Oh no, yeah, no, I remember. I remember what you're saying now, but yeah, not on the car here at least. As they come through Indianapolis. No spins this time around for Matt Hoyland. I think he's still going to be ruining that moment that sees him back in P15. He really could have been inside the top 10 without a couple of the mistakes that we've happened. It's Ronnie Stangle in the Jägermeister car there, the BMW. Last time I've read that, I've seen his car quite a lot, but I hadn't quite seen what was written on it. But it seems that that's what he's got on the car. Jeremy Orleman's in behind Rob McKee as well. But looking further back, just looking at the tower, Matt Barnett is leading a bit of a train here, isn't he? In 21st position. Peter Cox, Paul Colashaw and Hussein Zarakadesla are right in behind you. Here they are, fighting over P21 at the moment, as they all run their way through the Porsche curves now. 23 minutes left in this race, so we're looking at another, 6 laps to go? You'd have thought, give or take.
What's happened to Yanis is he's had a slowdown, because I'm just actually reading. Aiden's letting us know out there. Oh, he's had a spin! There it is. Oh, half spin, not a full spin. And so there it is. Aiden, let us know out there. Thank you very much for that, because we missed that. Aiden's like, I got you. Don't worry. That's why I was yelling out Yanis. So there's your switcheroo for the lead. Thank you for that, letting us know. Jeez, I think all drivers should text a drive, isn't it? They're going to let us know what's going on. We can switch the camera over.
Yeah. Our roving reporter at the front, don't we? In the chat. Thanks Aiden. For letting us know. But yeah, we've still got this battle for P3. Stitchberry, Nackery, Brayton back, all in a line. Nackery so close to the back. It's 700s, 600s, where it's back to a tenth. He backs off a little bit in towards the first chicane on the Malzahn straight. But he's just sitting behind, he's biding his time, he's trying to work out when and where it's best to make the move. I mean, of course, there's still a long way to go in this race. I mean, if he can just stay there where he is, you know, it could benefit him down in towards the final couple of corners. We'll see now Thomas Pugh, or sorry, final few laps, I should say. Thomas Pugh now around the outside of Robert Hamilton. This could be a bold, brave move. He can't quite make it, and he's now under pressure from Marcel Brighton back as they run their way through the end of the chicane. But he keeps his position, he keeps his nose in that top 10. But Marcel's going to have the incentive to go off. Thomas Pugh here, and Robin Aston isn't far away either. These four split by, I think, about 7/10 of a second, if not 6.
Fantastic racing here. You can see between the gaggle of cars as the lights come back off for some reason. I guess it's detected a bit of sunlight in there and the lights come back on again. There you go. I've seen that before.
Oh. But either way, I thought he had a good run there on Marcel. Marcel pulled out of the way, so a slowdown penalty maybe? Possibly. He's pulled out of the slipstream either way. He's got behind Thomas. Maybe it's an offensive move, I'm not too sure. He's not really lost anything. But Thomas Pugh's back up in front. Maybe he was just giving the position back on the exit. But now here comes Robin Aston on the inside, the Evo driver, making his way through. You can see Robert Hamilton at the front of the train, and that's his target in this race. He doesn't really want to, or he's not really particularly worried about anybody else further up, but Robin Aston looking at Robert Hamilton trying to make that move, and he wouldn't mind if Thomas Pugh can make his way down into Indianapolis. He'll have an inside line. Can he make it stick in that red 116 car? Let's see. There's absolutely nothing sticking. It's a dead heat as they run towards Indianapolis, but who will emerge ahead? I think it's going to be Thomas Pugh in P9. He'll have the inside line for the first part of Indianapolis, and indeed, he will keep that position. And now, Robin Aston and Robert Hamilton, the two fighting over the first place in the Evo class, right next to each other. And Matthew Jones is joining the party as well.
Ferrari versus Ferrari. In the mix there, of course, you get the Porsche and then the other Ferrari. And who's caught on the back of them? I think he actually got the other Porsche too. So Porsches and Ferraris. Gonna say it like Italian. Ferrari. Ferrari. Come on. Some passion into it. Still at the top of the timesheets down there, as you can see, Aiden 8 just sets the fastest lap of everybody in the 35.2 club. But Luca now putting this pressure. So this is the second little battle that's formed up the road here, and that's currently all behind Stitchberry for P3.
It is all behind the P3. It's going to be... I think it's going to be important for the championship, this little battle. I mean, momentum is an important thing in a championship, and we're nearly halfway through the season there. This is round 4. There'll be 5 more to go at the end of it. Of course, still lots of points up for grabs. I think we're still looking at upwards of 550 or so points up for grabs left in the season. But I mean, you want to be ahead. If you feel like you're ahead in the championship, the target's on your back. Drivers want to get past you more, and it means that you're in more of a position just to be able to work out what's best for you in your championship. Maybe making that move there could help you, or maybe just sitting in behind, waiting a little bit, seeing what unfolds, won't do you any harm, because you're still that far ahead in the championship. There's Matthew Jones here getting through. I think that was on Robert Hamilton now. Robin Aston has stolen a bit of a march, but this train, 5 cars now, nose to tail, through the first sector here at Le Mans. They're going to run their way down towards Tertre Rouge, and then down on towards the Mulsanne Straight.
Paul had an accident,
but
which is the reason why he's gone into pit road. I'll come and show you that one in a minute.
Was that Paul Collishaw
Yes,
into the pit lane?
Paul Collishaw's had an accident. I saw something come up there on the race control messages saying he had a little bit of a ding, and therefore the reason why he's gone into the pit road immediately straight after is indicates to me that it's got too much damage on that car and he just get it fixed. Just 17 minutes to slap a bit of duct tape out there and ding those dents out. Back out there.
Henry Nacker, I mean, these three, I mean, Lulu Chasey really is joining the party here because of the, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Inability, well, not inability, just inaction from Henry Nackery when he's trying to get through here on Ewan Stitchbury. It's just going to allow Lulu Chasey just to join the back of this battle. He's gained 2 tenths in that chicane alone, and before too long we might see Ryan Otton's join the battle, but Henry Nackery is definitely thinking about the last lap, thinking that, you know, there's no point getting past Stitchbury now just to be overtaken because they're not going to get to the top 2, but
These have come together. They've come
He-
together here. Oh, that's a heavy impact into the fence. That was Renee. He got squeezed in there. Yeah, the Jägermeister car. Look, nowhere to go. Renee's like, no, not here. Bang. Oof. And that's going to hurt.
It looked like that they made initial contact on the apex of the corner, but then they just got dragged wide whilst, rear wheels on front wheel there. But yeah, it's really unfortunate. I think I said earlier, actually, that it can be difficult to go side-by-side through there because of that exact reason. You can find yourself in the wall on the outside there, and that is exactly what has happened for those two. And it's not going to do their race any good at all as they run through. Less than a third of the race to go, though, 17, 16 minutes or so. But we will see how many laps are left, and we can work out how close Aiden Neat is to the line in terms of time. But we'll work that one out. But no, I was saying before actually that Henry Nackery, he knows he can't get up to the top two unless they crash, quite frankly, or unless they have a massive error. So just trying to play around with Ewan Stitchbury to position himself in the perfect place possible for the final lap is probably a smart thing to do at the moment for him.
Yeah, I'd say so. I want to look at what happened to Paul earlier as well too, because we know that he went pit road here. Oh, there's contact actually. Between one of the other cars there. They come back on track, and that's deliberately that looks like he's deliberately come back on track to tag that car that they had a little moment with. That's what that looks like. That's not going to help your incidents points doing that there, gentlemen. You can see him come back on track there. That looks like their drivers do that. They come back on and get upset with the other driver, so they come and try to tag them back onto the racing line, and that'll be investigated, of course. Hey, there's $15, remember, in gift vouchers from iRacing if you get some nice clean incidents. Clean racing this season. I'll take that one over getting a little bit angry on track.
Yeah, I mean, you can't really say no to a free £15 voucher, can you? Especially when it's for iRacing, get you a couple more, or get you another track, get you another car. It's always nice, isn't it? But yeah, it's nice to see a reward given out for the cleanest drivers on the grid throughout the season. We'll have to see who takes those vouchers by the end of the season. There's some very tight battles going on here. Breitenbach, Jones, Pugh and Hamilton, all four of these cars. This could be a triple overtake here, I think, on Robert Hamilton. Is that Matthew Jones to the inside? I think it is. Yes, he will try and make his way through, and Robert Hamilton fights it back. Or no, Matthew Jones fights it back, sorry, on the inside. But Robert Hamilton has the exit. Has he got the position? It's going to be the long way around the right-hander as they dive below the Dunlop Bridge. But I think Robert Hamilton's just going to have to sit in behind. But Matthew Jones has now lost a second to the two cars in front, and he may be a little bit more vulnerable with the slipstream working as the Ferrari bears down on him. We have 14 minutes to go. Aiden Neat still leads by 5 seconds. Yannis Hubert's big mistake could cost him this race victory, but we've still got the battles for P3. We've still got the battles for P10, for all the way down P17, down towards P28 as well. So lots and lots of positions yet to be decided, and I think we might see a frantic last few laps here, as we now see. That's going to be Thomas Pugh through a Marcel Breitenbach once again. I feel like he's done it a few times now, and that's why he's gone wide in the chicane, and back comes Marcel.
Good racing between those two. I just wanted to let you know that Matt Hoyland, you can see just in the lurking in the background there, because DXT Live out there, we wanted to put that out. As he's saying hello, good to see. We're just talking about you before there, spotter, of course, for your team. Is it had to pull out as baby wasn't well? I'm not quite sure what that means. So, anyway, back up to the business end here as well is Luke and Stitchbury. Now, did you just get ahead of Stitchbury? He did. For now, Stitchbury's going to have the slipstream right here. So we're running on board with the Aura Motorsports 112 machine. 122 up the road there is Henry. So he's battling it. Henry's in P3. The rest are way up the road. 19 seconds and change up the road there between Aiden, Nate, and Yanis. Yanis making a little bit of a spin after they were battling it out earlier, which cost him drop back about 5 seconds and change at the moment from our race leader. So unless any of those make a mistake, they should be looking easy in a 1-2. But who wants this P3 in the podium, you know? The champagne tastes nice and bubbly and foamy at the mouth when you get that third step.
Yeah, it does. Even if, particularly in this race, because, I mean, yeah, with Aiden and Yannis Hubert so far in front, realistically for these guys, all they've been thinking about for the past half hour has been trying to pick up P3. The top two positions have just been too far out of reach. They've just not been close enough at all to
that's
get
a tank on the fence.
Yeah, that was just a little bit, not too hard, but you have to drop the car a little bit. Henry Nackery is in P3, but I mean, Luke Shady still chasing him down, still in the hunt, a bit wide there from Henry Nackery. Gotta be careful not to go too far off track. I think Aiden needs to set the fastest lap of the Grand Prix, or of the race, I should say. 3 minutes 55. So, how long have we got left? 11 minutes. Yeah, so I think we're gonna have 3 more laps then here. As I don't think he'll be able to get round the third time. Is that a slowdown penalty for Ewan Stitchbury? I think it is. He's pulled off the racing line. He's had to lift off through the final corner, and John Breitenbach has come through. Ewan Stitchbury having to give up that position, and he's gone from being in P3 down into P6 now in the space of a lap, and it's all falling apart a little bit for him.
Yeah, but he's still going to get some crucial points, which is not probably the points that he wanted, but he's still in it to win it. With 10 minutes to go, anything can happen. These drivers can come together there and he can retake those positions. We shall see. You can see Henry having a little bit of tank slapper against the fence too, so he's pushing it like mad to try to keep the South African driver behind him right now as we are getting into the dying stages of this race. There was a little bit of an incident before, I think, there with Javier. He's had a moment. And looks like these two might have come together here, actually. There it is, turned in, boom, goes around. Anyway, but I'm going to keep an eye on this one, because here it is. So Luke's got the job done on Henry, and he's got that third place. So the final podium position, that's not over yet. Of course, Henry's going to try to come back, get this one with that now he gets the toe. Almost going to say DRS, but none of that. Cheat codes here. I call it DRS cheat code. It's too overused in Formula 1. Should be pushed to passes. Push to DRS. And limited.
Yeah. There's been lots of different proposals, isn't there? I was already agreed on one, but either way. Henry Nackery. That's wide from the chicane through the chicane, and yeah, that's going to be a position for Henry Nackery. Straight up around the outside. He says, thank you very much. Didn't even have to work for it. Just drove on the racing line, and Luke Lucchese, he has rescinded third place with only 10 minutes to go. 2.5 laps left, I do believe. But we'll just double check when Aidan gets to the line how long is left, because I think it may be slightly close on whether we have 2 or 3 laps after this one, but we'll have to see. I think with only 1 minute left, no, I don't think get the line in time, but obviously he's so far in front of this battle for P3 that he may just do. Luke Lucchese still on the back of Henry Nackery. He's been so close. They've been so close together for so long, as now he pulls out of the slipstream, coming down towards Indianapolis. Oh no, so that was Robin Aston pulling out of the slipstream with Marcel Breitenbach. But here comes Luke Lucchese. He's side by side. He's just about ahead, and he'll have the inside line. Henry Nackery doesn't want to fight that around the outside on the way into Indianapolis, and he will drop back down into P4. He's got to do it all over again to get himself back on the podium. But Henry Nackery, Luke Lucchese, I should say, has shown that he is prone to a mistake. We'll have to see if he makes another one by the end of the race. But we should only have 2 laps to go. Although having said that, it is actually looking very, very close between Aidan Neat and the line for 2 more laps. Let's see when he crosses the line, or when Yanis crosses the line, as I don't think he has just yet. And I think now he will only get 2 more laps from here. So, yeah, 2 more laps then. It's close, but I think we're going to have about 10 seconds with the clock reading an hour. So it'll be pretty close.
Oh, Matty gets past too. I think Matty just got past. So I thought he was catching up in the background there, so you should be happy at DX2 Live. The dual driver Matt Hoyland's come back, clawed his way back after dropping quite a few of those places. But got Robert Hamilton all over the back of his tailpipe. And just explaining, that's the reason why you got 18 months to start to get a temperature. Yeah, fair enough. Understand, you got daddy duties. Try to explain it to his wife. His partner and got a swift kick in. Yeah, you would. Alright.
As, yeah. I can't argue with that one. Matthew Jones, big crack, little big moment between a few of these drivers. Matt Hoyland's just gone through the middle, I think, or Robert Hamilton has, but that is a big moment for Matthew Jones, and he's going to drop back in class as well, giving Robert Hamilton the lead in the class.
Thomas's front end's completely dinned. Look at this.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and that's not going to be nice to limp home with 2 more laps on the clock. That's just not nice. It's just not looking very nice.
There, they've come together. That's what's knocked it off. Oof. Almost contact there too with Mr. Matt Hoyland as well. So it's definitely spicing up now. And Thomas has got to bring it home, isn't it? You can't go to pit road now. It's too much. You're just gonna have to afford to lose some time. Because the pit stops are 40-something seconds and change, and I don't even know if a repair on top of that's going to cost you more. He's just going to bring it home. Oh, but he is going to pit road, actually. Guess it's right there. Both the Glass Tech Racing, Joe's gone in as well. And Joe had gained all those positions. He's going to drop a couple there now. Wonder if they didn't calculate enough gasoline in there. I didn't think Joe had any damage.
Possibly. Well, I mean, they are the team's championship leaders down there at Glass Tech, and it's such a shame for them because they're going to fall right down the order. They're not going to be able to gain any points in the team championship on their competitors, and I think Anish Hilbert will be pretty pleased with how it's going for him at the moment, up in P2. We'll see back Joe Sparrow trying to fight away with Matt Barnett here as they come down into the first of the chicanes on the Mulsanne straight, but not being able to make a position there. John Ludbrook as well in the battle, lurking in the shadows, as there are quite a few shadows around the track now as the sun really has set. Darkness is really set in for these guys. You
mean the Earth's rotated away from the sun, thank you.
Oh, there you go, thank you. The Earth rotated away from the sun. Or this particular part of the world has the sun.
Gotta get it right. Neil deGrasse would be right on top of him with that one. He doesn't like it when people say sunsets. It's just a terminology. Stitchberry at the moment wants to see the sun setting on Henry for possible P4 position, but Henry's going to try to defend like mad to keep that one after he did have to yield it to Luke, who stole that P3 away from him. The dying stages of our second full race, per se, that you could call it, 1 hour race. Season.
After Spa, this is our second. We'll have one more at Suzuka, I do believe, if I just will check the calendar. Yes, at Suzuka. We'll have one more in 2 weeks' time, but the other 4 events will be 2 30-minute races with the top 13 reversed, and that'll start again next week at Watkins Glen. We move back across the Atlantic. We've moved back this week after being at Sebring. We'll be back again to go to Watkins Glen, and then we'll go across the Pacific to go to Suzuka. So lots of travelling. I'm not sure it's good for the air miles, but it doesn't really matter, does it?
You're going to see Tom drop some places down here at the moment. So Thomas, because of that damage, but he's going to keep driving that thing. And there you go. So Joe will get past him now. I'm not quite sure how much of a gap he has further back in the field there to Jeremy. So that's 3 seconds. We'll lose that too. Here comes Matt. Matt trying to make up that place there. If he can make it up, he'll be only 1 down from where he started. Oh, Stitcher's got past.
And that's the opening chicane of the racetrack. This is the final lap, I'm almost positive, of the race. So you've got to get it done now. You've got to really put your foot down.
Well, I think
Matt,
too.
Yeah, just about into the final chicanes. He's got through Matt Hoyland up into P10 once again. He's recovered well after those, you'd have to say, mistakes or incidents in the early part of the race. But Henry Nackery now right on the back of Ewan Stitchbury gets a better exit onto the Mulsanne straight. Luke Lucchese has waved bye-bye to these two and looks very comfortable to pick up that P3 finish, but a long way behind the top two, Neat and Albert. The only difference between them really has been that big moment for Albert that's cost him about 5 seconds, but we'll see now. Henry Nackery, will he make a move down into the first chicane? No. If anything, he'll near enough bump draft Ewan Stitchbury down into the chicane, and he will bide his time. He's going to have to go for the move. Surely he'll go for the move at some point. It's just a matter of when he does. Not the greatest run through that first chicane, and he's lost about 2.5 tenths or so off the back of Ewan. He's got to go for it somewhere, surely, Dean.
Yeah, he's going to be the last late cents, I'd say. If he wants to risk it for the biscuit, could risk both those cars dropping out. Thomas did go on a pit road. He'll drop all the way back down. I think he's just got that quick repair done and back out. So maybe he's just selected as 2 undrivable for the last lap. Him. There's our race leaders. Oh, they're coming around the very top of your track map. Up there, it's Aiden all the way. Clear track too. He's got nothing up the road there for some time. I know the boss man's had a crash. Oh dear. I haven't seen too much of the boss man this time around, but it looks like he's lost it on his own here. Yeah, just goes off there. Keeps it. No, into the fence. Ouch. That'll
Nicely
knock the
pirouetted,
fillings
though.
out of your teeth.
Very nicely pirouetted, but facing the right way after hitting the wall. I'd like to see him try to do that, if he could actually do it again, but we'll see here as Yaden comes out of Arnage. I think it's in an Arnage competition car, if I'm not mistaken, so it's a nice little moment there. I might be completely wrong, but I feel like I saw the roof before and it had the Arnage logo on. But either way, it's a pink and white car. Looks resplendent in this evening light. Through the final few corners, yeah, he's got 30 seconds left. He'll definitely hit the line once we pass the hour mark. But Ewan Stitchbury and Henry Knackery are still fighting out. Oh, and I think Henry Knackery's got through. Yes, he has. Down into Arnage. A little bit of contact. It was close, but he had that inside line. He's got the move done. Can John Breitenbach come through? I'm not too sure if he can. Either way, Aiden Neat is just about to come up towards the final chicanes now. He's come through very well. He's not had much to do. He's been in the chat throughout the race, and I think he will take the race win surely. Through the final couple of chicanes, through the first, into the second. The race is over. He's just about crossed the line past the hour mark, and Aiden Neat is your winner here at Le Mans in the 4th round of the Evolution Sim Racing GT3 Season 3, and he finishes it with the fastest lap as well. At 3:54.4 is your winning, or is your fastest time by the end of the race. Yannis Aubert will come home P2, and then it's a long way back for Luke Lucchese, as he will come home P3. I noticed that Ewan Stitchbury's actually got back ahead of Henry Knackery there at some stage of the final sector. Is anybody going to make a move into the final corners? No, and it will be Stitchbury in P4, then Knackery, then John Breitenbach in the top 6. But that was a very close battle towards the end, and there's still a close battle for P10 with Matt Hoyland defending at the moment. Ryan Orton's, Paul Robson and Marcel Breitenbach should come through in 7th, 8th and 9th, but we will look back to this battle with Matt Hoyland. We'll actually see Paul Robson here. And Marcel Breitenbach back to Matt Hoyland. Robert Hamilton not too far behind, but I think he should just about have enough to cover that one off, as Otton and Robson have finished in 7th and 8th. But what a drive in the end from Aiden Neat. Controlled that race from start to finish. I mean, he was behind Yannis Aubert a couple of times, but once he got through with that mistake from Yannis, he really didn't look back, did he?
It's Marcel crossing it at the moment there. It's a good solid drive for him. 7 positions gain there. Matt's good recovery drive to come back on that one. Robert Hamilton, 6 positions gain there. I'll show you your gainers as well. So James as well, gaining 11. Good on you. You'll be happy with that one. Rob Mackay, the DX Team Motorsports, gaining 8. Further back in the field. Joe, what a drive for him. 24 positions gained there for the Green Machine. That's impressive. Take that one any day of the week.
Yeah, biggest mover I think in the field during the race. So congrats to Joe Sparrow for that. Recovered after what he probably would call a poor qualifying performance. We see Allemans in 19th, Donnelly and Kostrick crossing the line. Then it's Chris Keenan, Alex Fretwell, Collar getting through. Oh, they were side by side to the line. Thomas Pugh, I think, just losing out to Dennis Collar. Thomas Pugh had a with that damage, look at that, 20 seconds slower, I think, than Dennis Collar on that last lap with all that damage, and comes home 25th. Ashley Brooks comes out of the final corner. He'll take home 28th place, but we've still got cars running around. Of course, with it being such a long lap, we've still got to wait another minute or so before we see the final drivers cross the line. It'll be Tom Anderson in P29 and the boss man James Bostock after that crash, finishing in P30. Matthew Jones in 31st. And it should be Hussein Saragadesta, I should say, in 32nd. But Christophe Demay might get him on the line, and he does get him on the line. As just maybe Saragadesta may have run out of fuel there.
Yeah, it looks like he has run out of fuel. I thought that as well. A few of the drivers you can see are pulling off there. They're running on vapours at this point.
Yeah, so time to perfection by a couple of them. Gareth Newton 34th, Graham Matthew 35th, and then I think we've only got a couple more. Paul Colashaw is one of them. Who have we got left? Yeah, I think it's because Paul Colashaw may be the last driver to finish the race, but we did have a 15-lap race in the end. Of course, with it being such a long lap, 4 minutes a lap, we didn't see too many, or the drivers didn't have too many chances just to go down that Mulsanne. They've all finished where they have Aiden Neat on top. Paul Collishaw will be, I think, the final finisher in 36th place, but Dean, very accomplished drive from Aiden Neat, and Yannis Hilbert as well extends that championship lead at the front.
Yep, absolutely. Especially with Aiden Neat driving, texting and driving at the same time as well, to see if we can get a bit of a yarn from those top 3 drivers. Actually, a little bit, give him a bit of a stretch there. I was still waiting for Paul to come around and complete his race. Mr. Paul as well had dropped. I think it's done actually. So yeah, I'm just waiting for those results to come in. There's James. You got that damage there. Still managed to bring that car home there, and P30. All right, our results. We can finally get them up there for you.
Here we go then. Who finished were officially, of course, Aiden Neat definitely your race winner. There he is. Yannis Hilbert in P2, both of them in the Lamborghinis, with Luke Lucchese in P3, Ewan Stitch, Bree Henry Nackery, John Brighton back, Ryan Ottens and Paul Robson in the top 8. They're the only 8 who finished within the minute. Marcel Brighton back, Matt Hoyland in the top 10, with Robert Hamilton winning in the Evo class. Congratulations to him. James Rankin and Rob McKee in P13. Peter Cox, Robin Aston, Matt Barnett and John Ludbrook round out the top 17. Then it's back to Joe Sparrow, Jeremy Orlemans and Stephen Donnelly in the top 20 with Scott Kostrick, Chris Keenan, Alex Fretwell, Dennis Collar, Thomas Pugh after that big crash which saw him lose quite a lot of the front end, Gary Mitchell and Joe Glass in 27th place, as there are even more to come. 28th goes to Ashley Brooks with Tom Anderson and James Bostock rounding out the top 30. Matthew Jones, Christoph Zamai, Hussein, Sarika Dessler, Gareth Newton and Graham Matthew in the top 35. Paul Collishaw and Daniel Nans, or Paul Collishaw the last driver on the lead lap, and Daniel Nans finishing in 37th position. Another set of drivers to come. You've got Alex Conrads, Russell Jakes and Javier Talavera in the top 40. I think some of these guys weren't able to finish. Rene Stangl, Nathan Crook, Stephen Cakebread, Kevin Simon, Jamie Rees, Tristan Dinobrega and Danny Weir in 47. I think there's 2 more drivers on the classifications. Just the one. Mark Robinson, 12 laps down. Unfortunate day for him. But he will finish back in 48th. But, Dean, I mean, a very good race. I mean, at the front it was pretty mundane. Between Aiden Neat and Yannis Hilbert, there wasn't too much battling going on, but right through the field, we saw some great trains throughout the race.
Yeah, you're right. Exactly, there was some good fun racing, very clean racing at the end of the day. Not a lot of incidents, you'd have to say. So that's what you like to see a driver, especially in a long endurance race like this. That you want to make sure you bring it home, see Barney at the end of the day, and get its maximum points you possibly can. So I think we got a couple of drivers really quickly waiting in the interview. If you want to drag them in, don't forget to unmute yourself as well there, because we're using a different system, so we'll switch over to that one. And hopefully you're back there with me there, Darragh. Yep, you are. So over to you, my dear friend, as to who you would like to bring in for a chin wagon.
We'll bring in Matt Hoyland. Matt Hoyland, who had a very up and down race, I think it's fair to say. I think a couple of incidents near the start, recovered well in the end for P10. But Matt, I mean, are you pleased with the P10 in the end? Because it felt like you had some pace for a little bit more, but there were those couple of moments, weren't there? I think there was the spin at Indianapolis that may have cost you quite a bit of time, but how was that race for you overall?
It wasn't too bad, to be fair. I mean, coming off the back of Sebring, as you saw a couple of days ago when you did the commentary, that wasn't my race at all. So I was a little bit happier coming into this. I'm more familiar with Le Mans, but yeah, like you said, I think the pace I had, maybe I could have finished a little bit higher, but I can't see me being that much higher. Obviously, the spin did cost me some time, but on the flip side, I did get to have some nice battles with some guys. I had good fun in process, so I can't really complain.
Yeah, I think you and I think it was Marcel Bryan back. You had a few battles, I think Marcel, but you had a few battles as well with the likes of James Rankin, Robert Hamilton as well. So it was nice to see, actually, because even though you only had 15 laps, it felt that you were pretty much there or thereabouts with at least someone on all 15. You weren't too lonely, but I mean, good for the championship in terms of getting that P10. Of course, not everyone picked up points, top 20 doing so. We moved back to America, Watkins Glen next week. I mean, is that a track you're looking forward to racing on?
It's a track I usually enjoy. I'm not the most experienced there. Like the series I usually race don't tend to go there that often. So maybe we'll see. It could be really good, it could be really bad. But I thought the same about Sebring, and it turned out to be really bad. So we'll see what happens when the time comes.
Yeah, and I mean you got 7 days anyway, so you got some time. But yeah, looking forward to that one. And well done on the P10. I mean, like I said, it was a bit of an up and down race, but you still got a P10 in the end. So congratulations, well done.
Thank you very much. I'll give a shout out to my teammate Rob. He didn't realise he was fighting for P2. We had to tell him that he got second in the Evo class after he crossed the line. I was trying my best to help back the other guys up to give him a chance, but he couldn't get there in the end. But he's more than happy with P2, so well done to Rob.
Waiting for an interview, I'll drag him in. And Rob, I mean, Matt's just said you had to be told you were P2 in class at the end, but fantastic result for you. You must be pleased.
Yeah, I am. I'm absolutely buzzing over that. I was running that race looking on my relative at driver numbers, and it had all obviously gone a little bit wrong somewhere because I thought I was maybe pushing for P3. But no, it turns out I was actually running in second, which is why Matt was trying to help me out as much as he could without destroying his own race. So thank you to Matt for that.
Yeah, I mean, there were a few drivers who came through. Robin Aston, he was leading that Evo class for a little bit, and then Robert Hamilton was in there. You were in that battle as well. I think it was 4, 5, or 6 of you there or thereabouts with about 15, 20 minutes to go. So, yeah, I mean, was it a fun race as well to drive? Matt was saying that he enjoyed it. There were nice battles. Was it the same for you?
Yeah, it was great. I don't know what it is with Le Mans. It seems to be that track where it sits so comfortable with me. So I know the track really well, and the battles I was in were all good fun, and on the most part, they were nice and clean.
Yeah, I mean, there were lots of nice clean battles. I mean, Dean as well, because there were so many times where there were cars side by side and they nearly came together, but they just didn't, wasn't there? But Rob, I mean, next week, I said it to Matt, we've got Watkins Glen next week. Is that a track you're looking forward to? I know you said you're very comfortable with Le Mans. How we do with Watkins Glen in comparison?
I don't mind Watkins Glen. I've only raced it a handful of times, but it is a track I like. I unfortunately won't be there next week because it's the wife's birthday and she's put her foot down and told me I'm not allowed to race. And I think a divorce is a little too expensive for a league race.
Yeah, I think we also saw someone in the chat. I can't remember exactly who it was, but they said that they couldn't race because their baby wasn't well and they weren't allowed to race either. But yeah, pass on our congratulations, will you? But yeah, well done. I mean, good for you in the championship, even though you're missing next week. It'll be good, I think, in the long run. And as you two as teammates, great for you in the team. I think it was a difficult race for our leaders, wasn't it? The Glass Tech guys of Joe Glass and Matthew Jones. So. Yeah, you'll have gained a little bit on them, and I think on the Ludcrook Racing boys as well. So I think overall, it's a good little evening for the both of you. But well done, Rob. Was there anybody you wanted to shout out at the end of the interview?
I suppose I better shout out to Hobo, who's normally in chat as DXT TV Live. Well, he's a driver this season, but he acts as race engineer when he's not driving for us. So thank you, Hobo, for keeping us our head in it towards the end.
And well done to both of you again. It's going to be interesting next week, just to see how Watkins Glen goes. We'll see how you go, Matt. But Dean, any closing thoughts you've got?
No, it's all good. Just a good rev on our sunset race there at Le Mans. Of course, the Glen's coming up next week. That'll be an interesting one for sure. No, good job, gentlemen. Good job.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see it. The Glen, who comes out on top, but it was a very strong performance from Aiden and Yanis Allbear once again, who continues to lead the championship. But you're right, you can see it on your screen. 7 days' time, we'll be at the Glen for that race. 2 30-minute long races. The top 13 in race 1 will be reversed to start race 2. But we will be there in 7 days' time. Thanks to everyone who has tuned in. Thanks to Dean for being here as well. And we hope you join us in 7 days' time when we get to the Glen. Because if these last couple of races have been anything to go by, it's sure going to be a pretty exciting one. So from us here, myself and Dean, we'll wish you a lovely goodbye, and we'll see you next week when the Evolution Sim Racing returns at Watkins Glen.